Let's go. Dad asked me to do a couple different things this morning. First on the list is to get all these pro boxes off this tender. Second on the list is do a couple things to the tractor, to air up a tire and blow out the engine air filter. And then that'll be done. And then I don't know what else I'm doing after that. Rate my setup 0 to 10. Get this door up and we'll get outside and get to work. You only unload about half of this tender at a time. It's kind of inconvenient, but it is a 10-year-old tender after all, and it served us pretty well. Unloading this tender is pretty easy. There's 4 little deals here that you just gotta flip over like this. Then you can come in with your forklift, pick up the box, and set it down. Hey there. Cannot forget to put the lids back on these things so that water doesn't get down in where the seed was and cause any unnecessary growing. Now we can get to work on the 8345R here. There's actually a grease zerk on one of the transport wheels on the planter that somehow broke off flush, so that's gonna be an interesting learning opportunity. Dad told me to move the truck and the tender away from where it was, so I hope that here, kind of out of the way, is where he wanted it to be, because he didn't actually say like, hey, put it here. He just said move it. Next on the list is check the tire pressure, and this tire we know needs air, so we're going to check the pressure in this one to see what kind of pressure we'll shoot for in this one. In these tires here, the inner dual was at 24 pounds. This outer dual is a 7.5, so there's a little bit of air discrepancy here, so we'll get this fixed. Oh, now this is gonna be fun. Gardening for today. Looks like I've gained a helper too. I'm running the field cultivator here at the home farm today. Dad is in the way right now. When it was like sort of dry, I may or may not have gotten antsy and just came out and worked this all with the sulfur. And of course now there's some green stuff starting to grow, which is weeds. And of course you got to run it over again. Looking back, I should not have ran over it with anything to preserve the moisture, but there's no going back now. Got too many tractors and not enough places to park all of them. This of course means that I got to get out and move the 9510 and the Diamond Harrow to somewhere else other than right here in the field. We'll get this thing moved probably down here in this grass waterway just to get it out of the way for now. Nice thing about working next to your house is that when lunch comes, you can just hop out of the tractor, get something to eat, get back in. I will be back. Slightly dusty. Hey. I found myself at the Palmyra Nutrient location for reasons that are above me. Well, actually the reason is because our guy Rob called me and said, hey, guess what? You get to use Nutrient skid steer to go push a bunch of logs. Here's the skid steer in question. Luckily, it's just like ours at home. This only took 3 times as long as I thought. I swear that the sticks and stuff just kept appearing. There was never like an end. There's still a couple of them sitting out here, but it's kind of hot. I really don't want to get out. Very slow. Where's the time gone? Need to get back to field cultivating here. We don't really have that much left. Can't be more than 16 or 17 acres, but it's in 3 different fields now, so that's gonna slow me down a little bit. I love sketchy creek crossings. This is the last field here at the house. This is a creek bottom. It's pretty good dirt. About got the end rows finished up down here, and then I'm gonna head back to the house, mow 2 yards, then we're gonna go work some more dirt. There's 125 or so acres here at this farm. Our house is right here, and then this spot here behind the shop I'm doing some research on. Okay, let's go. I have to turn very wide so I don't crush the ends of the culvert any worse than they already are. Looking out at my work, I get the proud father moment. Oh yeah, let's go. I know I may look like a cowboy with this fancy get up here, but trust me, not looking to get into cows. This just keeps the sun off my head and my neck and keeps the cancer off my arms. When you're a mile away from home and you get a nosebleed because of all the dust and you don't have a rag, you just need to find some non-poisonous native vegetation and stick it in your nose to prevent the blood from getting all over your nice shirt. At least this yard is done. I may look like a fool, but at least the yard's mowed. Oh yeah, we're on the move. Hello, doggo. Are you a good girl? Yes, of course. Great news. Orders just came down from the top, which is a code for Dad called me, and he says we're going to move his truck and his seed tender over here down to a farm by the hospital by Hannibal. Dad actually beat me down here to this farm, so I think we can get some cool video here. He smiled at you. Nice. This farm here was formerly a borrow pit for when they constructed the Highway 36, and that's fine and all, but when they took the topsoil off, they stockpiled it somewhere else, I assume, and then they put it back on here, and the city kept it, and people have been kind of farming it for a long time. The problem with this is that the topsoil being not evenly distributed, sometimes it can be very dry and very hard, like Kmart parking lot hard. I did have to enlist the help of my dear sister to help me move. Tonight, I've also been tasked with fueling up our custom planting guy and fueling up the 9570 RX and the Salford that are both 5 miles north of town, and town's 5 miles away, so I guess they're 10 miles away. That's quick math. That's why I'm in college. Oh, we're just about done fueling up. It'll probably be a 45-minute or more round trip. It's gonna click off in like 4 seconds. Ten seconds. I did make it up here north of town to fuel this tractor up before the sun went down, luckily. Things are generally a lot easier to do while the sun is up instead of when it is down. This fellow plants custom beans for us. He's running an 8310R and a 1224 1795. So when you're used to looking at a 60-foot planter, and then you look at this thing, you're like, oh, that's cute. It's like a little baby planter. Like, this thing has the same energy that the short bus does in elementary school. But with that said, even though it's only a 30-foot planter, the guy that runs this, he's out here like 5 in the morning, every morning. And he can still get 250 acres planted in a day. There's some not-so-friendly doggos here that are observing me. Good morning. Fair warning, today is going to be a roller coaster. I have no idea what I'm doing beyond like the first 3 hours of the day. On our seed beans here, we're about ready to move from the front hopper to the back hopper. I think we only got 210 acres done yesterday, but it was in like 9 different fields. That's one of the perks at the bottom is that you have like 180 acre fields and you can just go out and get something done in a day. Look at the concentration. Well, that's interesting. Sprayer beam's running out of things to break. I'd like to take a moment to thank the engineer at John Deere who decided to put a fill point on the other side of the tractor. That is a lifesaver. Way to go. The plan for part of today is I'm gonna go run over like the edges of some fields where I dished down some ground that we cleared. Not doing the whole field because we're worried about moisture conservation now because we're getting into June and it's kind of dry out here in northeast Missouri. This is a very important step in fueling up the tractor. You have to put the fuel cap back on. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Back here on this place, we cleared some of the trees out that are now right there. They were out in here, but now I'm just going around here where I disked it down with the Diamond Harrow just to smooth it back up. There's very, very little soil moisture here, so it pains me to even do this much tillage. Yeah, do you see any moisture here? Me neither. Well, there's a little bit once you get down here, a couple inches, but by and large, there's nothing. All right, this dumpster fire here has concluded, and I'm gonna wait for someone to give me a ride. I'm gonna get Dad's truck moved here, then I'm gonna take this and go do some work elsewhere. I have fantastic news, all right? My mom was gonna give me a ride. It's about 1.5 miles away, but now she just called me and she says, I can't give you a ride. So I'm gonna walk my happy self all the way over there. Let's go. I've made it 120 yards. Will this journey ever end? This could be much, much worse. Like I said, it's only like 1.5 miles or a little bit less actually. And it's all blacktop, so I'm not walking on any gravel, and it's not super hot. Could be worse. I just realized something. I just realized that now I'm the creepy dude who's walking on the side of the road and people drive by and wonder, man, where's he going? Now this is epic. Update, there's a guy up there in a pickup truck that I went to high school with, and I saw him, he was working, and I said, hey, Jerry, what's up? And then he says, dude, why are you walking on the highway? And I explained my situation. He says, hey, how about I just give you a ride? I said, all right, works for me. So, thank you, Jerry. That was very unexpected and appreciated. On the road again. Dad's getting his end rows put on this field that I was just working in. So here by Withers Mill where we farm, there's a 4-way intersection. And there's a stop sign that was formerly standing upright on one side of it. And now said stop sign is no longer standing upright. A little too close to the wheel. And I may or may not have just kind of pushed it over. Here we are, 2.5 hours later, not even done. This is a farm that we recently bought. This is actually our first year farming it. And there are some major issues that need to be addressed, like the 3 giant grass strips that are just out in the middle of the field that you have to go around. Going around stuff like that in the middle of the field kills your efficiency, because then you have a bunch of short rows on either side of it. These are 1/2 mile long rows, except there's a grass strip there, there's one up there somewhere, then there's another one. So that takes it from being a 1/2 mile long field into being something that's not a 1/2 mile long. Oh, look at this, another nice ditch to bounce through. Totally not being sarcastic. I'm pretty sure that's the worst ditch here, but that's not an excuse for it to exist. I think there's like 155-ish acres back here, and I got here at 11:15. It is now 3:41, and I just got done with my first pass of end rows, so that should tell you about how nice of running this is. Which, if you can't gather, it's not very good running at all. There's ditches to bounce through everywhere. There's hoots and hollers and nooks and crannies. I miss the bottom. Like, people in I-states or like God's country, West Central Illinois, like Hancock County, I'm kind of jelly. The way that this farm lays is not very conducive for getting a whole lot done in a hurry. However, this ground that's here west of Hannibal is some of the best in the county. So there's a reason that we try to farm or purchase every little clay knob that we can, is because it yields well. Finally got done over here on this farm. I've got one more stop to make. It's actually at my farm that's on Highway 61 that I rent. I just have to run over a spot that Grandpa worked on with the tractor and the blade, and then hopefully this is getting parked for the year. I forgot about the very narrow bridge. This is gonna be questionable at best. Oh, we got plenty of space. This is no problem. I actually had myself worried there for a second. I didn't know if I was gonna make it through. Well, that didn't take very long. I also may or may not have given this road sign here a little love tap with the side of the Diamond Harrow. This thing here is just so long and awkward to maneuver that it's difficult to get it anywhere without sometimes altering the appearance of some things. We don't have any room up in the yard to park this thing, so the next best place is in the waterway. Hopefully now we're done with the 510 and the Diamond Harrow for the year. But there's some beans in the bottom that I don't know if they're gonna have enough moisture to come up if we don't get a rain soon. Hello, kitty. I've got more excellent news. Dad just called me. He said he needs a fitting for the Power Beyond and about 2 gallons of hydraulic oil because it started leaking again. Let's go. I had to stop here at Side and Stricker to get the fitting for the Power Beyond. Where is it? Mark Goldinger. This is it. Hopefully we can get this thing back going with a minimal amount of downtime. None of the tools that I had in the truck were what we really needed to get in and get the fitting off, so we're just gonna have to run it and have some extra oil, so I guess we can put oil in it. I wonder how that got that way. We'll see if Dad has any words about planting. Do you have any words about planting?
I love it.
He loves it. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. Bad news for the planter and the tractor. The Power Beyond now is leaking oil faster than it really should, or faster than is sustainable. And there's a couple of gauge wheels that are doing something that they're not supposed to. So Dad's gonna pack it up early and just hit it tomorrow morning and get everything fixed, and we'll get it done. Planting will come to an end at some point. On the tractor, this is the same issue that we're running into last video where it's leaking out of that top part of the Power Beyond. Dad decided to fill up with seed while we're waiting here. Gonna have to do it at some time. May as well do it now. But today, Plant 2021 comes to an end. For me, that is. This is my last field of beans. It's 37 acres. It's actually the majority of my crop right here. And Dad is right there. He's getting ready to pull in. We're gonna get this one knocked out pretty quick. So we are going to be no-tilling this farm just because we're getting concerned about losing our soil moisture. And with tillage, you disturb the ground, you dislocate that moisture, it's gone. Nice. Smile. Turn around for the last pass of my 2021 beans. Show us how it's done. Excellent execution, sir. Consider this one done. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing us working together as a family and as a farm. And that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you guys stick around, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Guys and gals, equal opportunity.